Hello, listeners, and welcome once again to Tales from the Arclight. We return now to Hoard of the Cinder King, an Exandrian tale. May I reintroduce our lovely players and the characters they are playing?
Hello, I'm Nathan Dean, and I will be playing the character Errol Kane. He is a dark elf drow fighter at level 7, a gunslinger from a small town where he started as a sheriff and is now turning to a life more of crime. And I stupidly elected to do a cowboy accent all the way through this.
I'm Rebecca Reeg, playing Brenna Nimblecloak, a Ghostwise halfling cleric of the Changebringer. I'm a member of the class whose past is starting to come back towards her.
And so, we return to Exandria and our tale, Hoard of the Cinder King. So, last session, you guys were brought before the Council of Taldori. You were asked to answer for the numerous charges of breaking and entering the Gravanu mansion and of stealing what they called council funds. And basically, just given an opportunity to explain your side of the story to the proper authorities with the aid of the paladin Siegfried Sturmdrang's Zone of Truth to show that no funny business was in order. Seeing that you were in fact telling a version of the truth, and somewhat on the level, they confided in you that several artifacts from the hoard of the late Cinder King, Thordak, have been going missing, and are being collected by a mysterious underworld figure who goes by the nom de guerre, the Heir of Cinder. You have reason to believe that this is your former cohort, now turncoat, Reynard, who absconded with the prize you had been after, the 5 fingers of discount from under your nose, and now, by way of giving you an opportunity to redeem yourselves and have the charges against you dropped, you've been recruited, sort of press-ganged, into going on a dangerous mission to the mountain Gatshadow, the ominous mountain peak that dominates the Cliffkeep Mountains to the east of Imon, and which looms forebodingly over the cities of Westerun and Kymel below it, in the vast plains of Taldori. Errol has been entrusted with an interesting piece of equipment from Lord Percival de Rollo of Whitestone, a sniper's rifle of his own design known as Bad News, because nothing travels faster, and been instructed to relinquish his firearms to Lord de Rollo at the denouement of your mission. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the palace, Brenna Nimblecloak has been briefly led astray and into a dead end by an older member of the Clasp, one of the crime syndicates currently at war in the city of Imman, and has been instructed in no uncertain terms to return what they believe is rightfully theirs, under pain of everyone Brenna has ever known or loved being hunted down and having recompense taken out upon them. A small magical stone with what Brenna clocks as some sort of scrying magical component, and possibly even a means of communication attached to it, has been placed upon her person, but at this moment she has not seen fit to get rid of it. So, having been reprovisioned, having taken a hasty but nevertheless equivalent of a long rest, and set up for your trek, a teleportation circle was opened for you, and you were transported over miles and miles of space you saw whizzing past you, and all of a sudden you find yourself landing with not a thump, but with a sort of shift in the pressure around you, as you are transported from one part of Taldori to the other, and you find yourself partway up a tree-lined path above you, reaching high above the cloud cover, its peak not even visible, almost wrapping over the horizon itself. A great stone behemoth of a mountain is the only way it can be described. It angles up and away into the sky like a huge, jagged fang of black obsidian stone. The sky overhead is dark. Clouds swirl ominously around the midsection of the peak. The trees around you, starting at the base of the mountain, begin in sort of greens and browns and reds, some light kind of ochres, as the fall season seems to be coming early around here. But as the foliage creeps up and up the side of the mountain, trees lose their leaves. The branches and limbs of the trees become more gnarled and twisted. Errol, you get the impression of bony skeletal hands clawing up from the ground towards this peak. There is a miasma of evil in embryo swirling around. It is not a place that people go if they have any sense or any reason to go anywhere else. There is a path ahead of you leading up to a sort of jagged fissure in the rock that leads further into a cave within the heart of the mountain. It is dark, and it appears to get darker as you go in. What do you guys do?
When you say it's getting darker, how dark are we talking? Because I have dark vision, but it does have a limit, doesn't it?
So, dark vision is within a radius, so I believe as a drow you do have fairly good dark vision. You are outside, and so it is daytime, but again, because of the cloud cover.
I have superior dark vision. You can see in darkness shades of grey up to 120 feet.
So that would be in an area where there is no source of light, like when you were in total darkness. But yeah, in terms of, because as a drow you have disadvantage under regular light, I will say that because of the severe cloud cover, and as I described, the miasma, you're not currently at disadvantage to make perception checks. If you were to go into the cave, you would be using your dark vision to make perception checks there.
So can I see into this cave reasonably well then? Can I see anything that anyone else would not be able to?
So it's about 100 feet ahead of you, so you would be able to see roughly 20 feet into the cave. Give me a perception check, and because you're looking specifically into the darkness, I'll say just roll it straight.
23.
Again, you are quite a ways away from it, but I think what you, having just recently got bad news, what you do is you take scope from that and try to get a closer look in there. You don't see anything as such yet, in terms of, like, there are no creatures moving around, no greeblies or monsters waiting to pounce on you. You see a cave mouth, and you're just seeing the first 20 or so feet inside, but it is barren, looks almost volcanic kind of rock. Everything is very sharp and very jagged. There's a lot of shale and other kinds of very dark, black, and grey kind of stone. I think just at the edge of your vision, you see like a little bit of smoke wafting off of something.
I was going to say, like, with me seeing that smoke, my next question was going to be on that 23, whether I could see anything, like, leading up to the cave that might be, like, a trap or footfall of someone else, or... but now I've seen that smoke, now I'm particularly interested to see if that is...
Yeah. I'll say, with that high perception, make an investigation with advantage.
18.
You don't see any traps. This is a very treacherous area, so in terms of traps specifically, you don't see anything man-made. There are areas that you would see that are maybe a little treacherous. It is a mountain trail in an area that is very clearly very hazardous, and there are all manner of fauna and flora that you see intended to feed upon anyone foolish enough to stumble up here. But you get the impression that there are no traps going forward, and I think, are you guys approaching the mouth of the cave, presumably to inspect it a little closer?
Yes.
Okay. I would say you note that that little bit of smoke, you notice you don't smell fire on the air. You don't smell the charring of wood or coal or anything like that. It's a sort of a slightly acrid scent, and what you're actually sensing is the smell of rock dissolving. You see, as you get closer, little pools of sulfurous green acid slowly eating away at various rock pools. Anyone who wants to make a history check can do so.
I'll try. No promise it'll be good. It's not good.
I got
6.
10 and a 6.
I got a.
Yeah, so at this point, Zebediah, who is from this neck of the woods and has history with this area, he lived in Westerham. He was driven from his home by the Chroma Conclave, speaks up and tells you that this was most likely the former lair, the former den of Umbrasyl, who was a black dragon and associated with the elemental acid powers of various dragons. So this area still having lingering acidity burning away at it is not unheard of, but to the best of your knowledge, Umbrasyl is long dead. So this seems unusual, but not necessarily unheard of.
Alright.
Is there a way of collecting some of this acid in a way that wouldn't be dumb? Like, could I use? I'm thinking, like, because I have like special bullets, like I have ice bullets, fire bullets, whatever else, and I can tinker. Can I make acid bullets with this stuff?
You could certainly try. Let's make this a tinker check. That's your, I'll say, let's go with, it'd be your dexterity or intelligence plus your proficiency bonus.
10.
It's very difficult to handle elemental acid without melting the tools that you are using to do it. Do you want to... I'll say you can either risk losing your tinker's tools, or you can make a dexterity saving throw to try and finesse this out. I'll say it's a DC 18.
I'll try and finesse it out. I've got really good dex.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. 14.
You attempt to finesse it out, and the only way that you can not burn your hands is to just let the tinker tools drop to the floor. The elemental acid is just too strong. It just melts clean through them.
Ooh. Okay.
I stumble back and step back and like, okay, nope, like that's gone.
Alright, so thank you for proving we don't touch the acid. Good to know, good to know.
I feel bad for you, but
No, it was a risk, and I also feel like I can just get another. I'm not like emotionally attached to my tinker's tools.
I mean, you might have been.
But yeah, Siegfried looks down and says, sadly, there is not much I can do about that. I don't have the mending spell stocked, my friend. I am very sorry.
Yeah, okay.
He just looks like
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine.
Okay.
It's a learning process. Just a learning process.
Okay, so you have a cave mouth in front of you. Do you proceed?
if nothing is really glaringly horrible, then yes, I think we could stealthily enter.
So you're actively choosing to stealth.
Yes, I don't think I'm just gonna stride in.
Okay, what's the marching order going to be? Who's in the front and who's in the back? We have a paladin wearing full armor. We have a couple of slightly roguish individuals, and we have a cleric with some trickster abilities.
I would like to be closer to the front because of my dark vision, so I can see anything coming if you guys are struggling. But I think putting the huge jock-off paladin right at the front is probably a good shout, so I could be just behind him, sort of peeking out. I'm also going to get my prawn here, my silenced gun out, ready, so that I'm prepared.
I will stay towards the back of it.
Should we go paladin, me, you, Zed?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Is that everyone? That's everyone. Yeah.
Wait, are you melee or
And
no?
then, no. No, everything on mine is all like pistols, crossbows. I have unarmed strike, but I have nothing really.
Alright, we'll just kind of move out of the way if I need to get through there.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was the marching order?
Paladin at the top, then me, then Becky, then Zed.
So the thing to also take into consideration is the paladin. Like I say, Siegfried is wearing heavy armor, which is going to give him disadvantage on stealth. So any player shenanigans for that are going to be useful. On that basis, Zeb is going to cast Pass Without a Trace. Becky, do you have anything in your kit that would cancel out disadvantage on stealth or buff stealth? Because I'm wondering.
Technically I have silence. However, that's slightly different. I also have Pass Without a Trace too, so...
Okay. Pass Without a Trace doesn't stack if two people are...
No, it doesn't.
Does it? No. You could cast Silence on yourself?
Well, yeah, you cast on yourself, but it deafens everybody. It doesn't... for the duration, no sound can be created or passed through the 20-foot sphere. So, I mean, we don't have to worry about stealth checks. Any creature or object entirely in the sphere has immunity to thunder damage, and creatures have the deafened condition while entirely inside it. Casting a spell that includes a verbal component is impossible.
Okay, so if you were to cast Silence, you would have perfect stealth, but there would be no communication. But for the fact, funnily enough, that you have
Telepathy.
Yes.
So there are possibilities here. There are ways around this.
Well, I should say, yeah, it's telepathy. But it's only with one creature, so... Do we really think that there's going to be a lot of things in there to hear us? Do we know?
Your instructions are to go to Gatshadow and see about a bunch of cultists, so you know that there will probably be some people here, and you are entering hostile territory.
I think Pass Without a Trace is a good shout.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm gonna look at the paladin. Your oath, do you use subterfuge, or is that against your oath, or what's going on with that?
Above the table, he is Oath of the Watchers. So I don't think there is anything. He has Aura of the Sentinel, so he's good for the initiative stuff. So he has Aura of Protection. While you're conscious, you grant all creatures within 10 feet plus free to bonus to saving throws. You and any creatures of your choice within 10 feet get a +5 to initiative, and Aura of Courage, so you can't be frightened within 10 feet. Nothing to do with stealth. That's not really his bag.
Let's save the silence for now.
Yeah.
If there's some spellcasters, I can wander up there and be like, no.
He does have access to non-detection, but which he can only cast on himself at will. But yeah, not can only cast on himself, not anyone else. So.
Do you want me to cast Pass Without Trace or Zed?
Zeb can.
Yeah,
Let's
I
have
thought,
Zed do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, so Zeb will cast Pass Without a Trace. So that gives a +10. Let's go down the list. Group stealth check, and you're looking to beat a 12. So everyone give me a stealth check.
Well, we get +10, right?
Yes. So just don't roll a 1.
Yep.
Do I have my proficiency as well as I'm proficient in stealth?
Yeah, your stealth should be a +8.
23.
Okay.
So the +8 includes my
21.
proficiency.
Let me just quickly roll for Zeb.
Wow. That's a natural 20 for Zeb. +4 for 24. And
+10 for Pass Without Trace.
+10, so Jesus. Zeb is a ghost. He has fully melded into the shadows.
Hey, has anyone seen Zed?
I'll say, obviously, you guys are all moving as stealthily as you can, and only one of you, I believe, has access to dark vision, but you feel as though Zeb is just in his element, and just I just have to roll disadvantage on stealth here real quick for Zeb. Okay, even on a disadvantage roll and with no modifier, that's 15 on the die plus 10 for 20. He did very, very well to make that save. Make an insight, actually. Anyone who wants to make it.
I'll do it. I'll always take insight.
17.
23.
I think between you, Brenna kind of clocks this more, and certainly you are both from species that have a tendency, a preference perhaps, a proclivity even, for living and going about your business underground. So it is to your great surprise that this huge, tall paladin moves through this underground cave as if he were born to it. You, Errol, obviously being a drow, you know of deep gnomes, the dwerga, like deep dwarves who live in the Underdark. And you see just in the way he gets sort of in real small and is moving through the space, there is something reminiscent of those same Underdark dwelling individuals that you see in this person, even though this could not be further from an image of someone that spends the majority of their time below the surface. Yet you feel that same sort of kinship with this new member of the team.
What species is he? I thought he was a human, and I must have misremembered.
Well, he is an Azamar.
Oh, he's an Azamar. Of course he's an Azamar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a very big, very tall one at that. So that kind of puts this kind of ease he has with being underground into even sharper relief.
I think it's because every single time you say Siegfried, I just imagine the blonde guy from Full Metal Alchemist. And that's just who I have in mind every time you say his name.
That is no accident. It was by design. I mean, I don't know Full Metal Alchemist, but yes, he's...
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, you need. I'll educate you. Don't worry.
I am passingly familiar with it, but only passingly. But yes, Siegfried is huge.
There's a little girl that's fantastic in it.
I'm sure. I don't deny it.
But yes, I think on this, Siegfried kind of clocks you looking at him in the dark and just sort of smiles and says, my parents were of the deep gnomes. They taught me all they knew.
It's, filing that away for later. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have time for backstory.
Yeah. We are being
Around
stealthy.
Around the fire later. Keep going.
Okay.
Okay. So you press on, and I will at this point I will direct your attention to roll 20. You find yourself working your way deeper and deeper into the caves below the great mountain of Gatshadow. You traipse past pools of acid and sulphurous fumes bubbling away. At one point, you see what looks like the long dead, long decayed skeleton of a great dragon. And as you press further and deeper, you see signs of activity, evidence of footprints, torches that have been recently lit but since extinguished. And as you press further and deeper into the mountain, you find yourself treading the halls of what was once a vast... Cathedral feels like the wrong word, because there is nothing holy about this place, but a vast structure intended for the worship and veneration of something not unlike a god, but very much not what you would consider holy in any sense. Errol picks up on it earliest as someone with history among the Underdark, with the aberrant cults that wreaked havoc on civilization down there, and driving people to madness with visions of war and wrath and hunger and pain and things from beyond the ken of mortaldom creeping into the material plane.
When we had our long rest before we came here,
Mm-hmm.
I would have done my weird elf meditate sleep thing.
Yes.
Would I have gained any prior visiony stuff before arriving in a place like this? Because we've had one previously, so...
You want to roll for some sort of like precognition-y notion of what is about to happen.
Yeah, like if I'm noticing something about this place and with Drow and Underdark and then my weird visiony thing from the last stream, well, I've had another one as we're getting closer to this place.
Make an insight check. We'll say it's a difficulty of 20 to get something specific.
16.
On a 16, you would have probably had some inklings that the way your brain kind of compartmentalizes information is very fickle and intuitive at times. You wouldn't have received any new information, but there would be an emphasis on the roiling, inky black, colorless, formless creature that was in the deeper shadow of your dream, and of tentacles and pseudopods reaching up and out, as if something was trying to claw out of that black pit into the realms above. And I think of the parts of that dream that you remember clearly, that this is the thing that is of most emphasis to you in this present moment. Something is trying to get out into the world, and this place is one of the potential gateways for that to happen.
I feel like I put a hand on Siegfried's shoulder, and as utterly quiet as I can possibly sort of give the information, I just say the name of that spidery Lolf, is it?
Lolf, yes.
Yeah, and I just give him a look of like, I'm hoping we're on the same page here, and then just say the name of the thing, and then point to sort of because I can't really explain the whole context, so I just all go, Lolf, like, look, bro, Drow, horrible place, like, getting a sense.
So he puts a hand on your shoulder and gives you this big earnest smile. And just for context, the cult of the Angel of Irons and of Farazdoon, the Chain of Oblivion, is one of the aberrations that was affecting your home. Lolf is a separate and distinct one. These are two... It's kind of like it's kind of a rock and a hard place sort of situation. So on the one hand, you have shapeless, unknowable horror that is trying to destroy the minds of people. But on the other, you have a spider queen wanting to turn people into half-human, half-spider monstrosities. And also, they sometimes go mad in the process.
We've all been there.
And he and Siegfried place a hand on your shoulder and just says, I understand. The perils of the Underdark are difficult for even the strongest of wills. But we press on in the name of good and justice and hope. And you get a little bit of that completely uncynical energy that this person just seems to radiate, and he's going to cast Bless on the party in this moment.
Trying to remember what Bless does.
Bless up to 3 creatures of your choice within range. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the attack roll or saving throw. So
Cool.
So he...
For the first time in his life, I feel like Errol feels not cynical, like the briefest moment of, yeah, alright, cool.
Okay, so you, at this point, you start to hear a number of voices. And I'm just going to move the party up into range here. You guys are continuing to stealth up. Stealth rolls were good enough that you basically start wherever you want to on the battlefield, but you're all still moving up stealthily and as a group, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You begin to hear chanting, and as you move up into the space, you see a partially ruined dais in the shape of what might at one point have been a 7-pointed star, but parts of it are kind of blocked off or partially buried under rubble. There is an altar with various items scattered across it, and a number of figures. Some of them are in hooded robes, others wear masks in the shape of what could be a hand or a series of tentacles. It's not entirely clear. In the center of them is a very tall figure with dark hair, and there is candlelight here, so you get a glimpse of this figure. Give me a perception check on this figure.
How am I rolling it? Just flat.
Just straight perception.
With the bonus too.
Yeah, with bless.
Oh, with bless.
So add a D4 to whatever you roll.
10.
With
And then I got
bless.
With bless.
Oh, 15 for myself. I apologize. The cough.
The figure before you looks very similar to Siegfried, but almost as if in a dark mirror sort of thing. Where Siegfried is armored and is chisel-jawed and handsome and seems to, even though there is no light spell on him at the moment, there is sort of a benevolence and earnestness that radiates off him. You get the opposite impression of this figure. The bone structure, the muscle mass is there, but everything is sort of opposite. Rather than the gleaming armor that Siegfried has, there is black, pockmarked and spiked and hooked armor. There is a nasty-looking long sword and short sword, holstered at the waist. Just these hollow pools of blackness, where his eyes would be, as he scans over some sort of scroll that is in his hand, and you see the other hooded figures behind him, almost deferring to this figure, and he says, "Where is it? Why have you not found it yet?" And one of the cultists come forward. "The infernal abomination must have taken it." You see a sort of look of frustration come over them. "We must complete the ritual if we want the Angel of Irons to return to this world. Scrounge what you can. We must begin immediately." And they start to dig out old reliquaries and pieces of bone and what look like sort of half-rotted internal organs and a number of other magical items and start piling them together as what you can only assume is some sort of ritual is about to begin. And I'll say, what's your passive perception, Errol?
14.
14.
You, in this moment, look to the side and you realize that Zeb is not there.
Can I look to see where he's gone, or is he just not there?
Yeah, make a perception check to try and spot him. You still have bless.
17.
Roll a fresh stealth check here because he's about to potentially do something very silly.
So 16 total. You said you had 17 on your perception.
Yes.
You spot Zeb is no longer under the effects of Pass Without a Trace because he is currently sneaking along the side of this wall. And
Would we all then be not under the effects because he was the one that cast it?
That would be true, yes. Yeah, he's still. You don't see him until he's about to make a very rash movement here. However, because your stealth checks were so high, I will say you are all free to have a surprise round as we get ready to roll initiative.
I got 23. You don't add bless to that, do you?
I believe that's just attack rolls and saving throws. So, yeah, unless there's anything in your kit that adds to initiative, I think you're good.
20. So.
23, you say?
Yes. Well, can I see what Zeb is about to do? Like, is he about to fire an arrow or something?
Let me check on Bless because I believe it reads every.
Yeah, double check that. I'll say that you guys are going to be in a surprise round, so, and I think all of your initiatives are going to be at least 20 plus.
Mm-hmm.
In a mysterious way.
You're right, there is none. So
Yeah.
I am at 23 also.
Okay.
Because mine added a bless to it.
So you said your initiative was 20...
Mine's
23.
23 also.
Okay.
Mhm.
I was going to say...
It added bless.
Okay. You did say you got a natural 20, so...
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, the entire party, nobody rolled an initiative below 23. So you guys are going to have carte blanche, I think, unless someone in here manages to somehow.
Very much looking forward to shooting bad news at this guy. I like how Adam's like, oh, Zeb's about to do something really stupid, and in my head it's like, well, whatever he's going to do, I'm going to join in and do exactly the same thing.
Huh. Where we go one, we go all.
Oh, you're going to fire an arrow at that guy out of nowhere without any provocation? Cool, I will also fire my gun at him at the same time.
To be fair, there is provocation. I mean...
I do wonder whether I can use my sharpshooter skills to fire at the scroll that he's going to use for summoning, and if I can destroy what's on it before he has a chance to read it. That's one of my plans, I think.
Getting reacquainted with his spells. Oh, yeah, they're all within range. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It
So
looks a
where are we
lot
heading?
further. He's going to aim for this fella. So I think
Okay.
this is our evils. I think this is our inverted Siegfried fella.
Well, then I'm thinking some guiding bolts will work. Make it easier for people to hit.
Fairy fire do anything in this instance
Um,
in terms of helping people hit? Or I don't have a lot of spells. I have fairy fire and darkness, and that's all I've got. Oh, and another thing. There's one other thing. Another one. Dancing lights. That's the other one.
Fairy Fire is more for, I think he's gonna go invisible. Because it outlines a creature. Yeah. Well, any attack roll has advantage if they can see it. So that's, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
you can
always
already see. It's not really.
Well, I mean, it will give advantage on it, so that's a bonus too.
Oh well, yes. Well, then maybe I'll just do that then as well.
Because Guiding Bolt does 46 radiant damage and then gives advantage if I hit. But for 1 round.
Cool.
So we could just light that one guy up. Be a shining beacon. See, you say he's gonna do something real stupid. We're all like, hey.
Everyone perks up their ears, yes.
Is it stupid because he's going first, or is it stupid because... it's not a bad idea. Ah.
So we're going to hop into initiative. You guys have a surprise round before the enemy is able to react. I would say on those high initiative orders, you see a glint of Zeb having peeled off from the group and poised to do something. His eyes are locked on this central figure that everyone else is deferring to. And between each of you and Siegfried, you will have a moment to react before he's able to engage and blow your cover. So you have options here. Siegfried turns to the group and says, what do you need me to do? Do you want me to get into the mix, stay put? Where? What should I do?
Chaos.
Yeah, no gold, no gun. Like, I thought you said pay us. You're like, pay us, like, you got us here, like, you're gonna. Like...
No, I said chaos! Although chaos does make sense too.
Like, pay us, like sounds more like her speech. Like,
honestly, not what I heard, but.
For me to get my
Wait, what did you hear?
Let's not say what. Let's not get into that.
Chaos.
Yeah, you clipped the microphone just on the right syllable for it to sound like ass.
Well, we're evidently not getting out of this alive, so let's have a word.
You see this 7-foot-tall angelic slab of meat and armor and an unearthly beauty turn bright red for a hot second as he processes real quick what you are asking him, and then narrows his eyes and says, I feel we are of very different stripes. I am just glad that we are on the same side. And he is going to cast Moonbeam.
Never seen.
And he is going to cast it on this guy. So he casts out of nowhere this silvery beam of light. And this tall armored figure in the middle is wreathed in ghostly flames that sear at his skin. Is going to make a Constitution saving throw or take 2d10 of radiant damage. So he's going to roll Constitution saving throw. I'm going to re-roll that properly because that wasn't... Okay. Somehow better.
We tried.
rolled lower, got higher.
He adds more. He adds more, that's why.
Indeed. So, let me just go over the effects of this real quick. So, cast this at a 3rd level, and that does 2d10. Roll really badly, so you see this figure take the damage, but yeah, that's not great. He saves for half, and because he has celestial resistance, he is going to take half again for 1 point of damage. So, yeah. You get the impression that low roll notwithstanding, radiant damage doesn't seem to be doing much harm against this guy.
Good to know. Good to know. That changes my plans.
Okay, so that's Siegfried. Just going to check there's anything else he can do. Nope. So that is Siegfried's turn. So Brenna is up next with Errol on deck.
Well, I'm still gonna do this, but I'm not gonna do it as a higher level. I am going to cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
A flash of light streaks towards the creature of my choice, which is going to be that guy, the
Yes.
same guy that the paladin targeted.
Yeah.
On a hit, it takes 4d6 radiant damage, and the next attack on this target made before my next turn is advantage.
Okay.
So it's really that aspect I'm going for. So
Okay. So make your attack roll.
25 to hit.
That definitely hits.
For 11 radiant damage.
Okay. Is there a save for that, or
No.
no? He just takes it.
Nope, he just takes it.
So
Resistances do apply, but it's
yeah. So that's so that was 11.
Mhm.
Half to 5.
Yep.
Okay.
But the real reason why I did it is the next attack on him gets advantage.
Okay.
So, is there anything else you want to do on your turn? Are you staying behind? Are you staying where you're behind cover? Or are you going to move?
Oh, we're gonna stay right where we are.
Okay.
We are gonna stay right here.
Okay. And the range on, remind me the range on Guiding Bolt, just for my own edification.
Guiding Bolt is 120 feet.
Okay, you are well within range. So
Yes.
that's fine.
Yeah, that was one thing I did check.
Yeah, and likewise I'm moving. Okay.
Okay. If there's nothing else on your turn, that would be Errol's turn with Zeb on deck.
So, this wall that we're hiding behind, is it?
Yeah.
How tall are we talking?
We'll say it's like half cover. So that.
If I was going to get bad news out, I could use it to rest on to aim with.
Yes.
It's not like a huge, like it's not like I have to slam.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not a full wall. You're sort of kind of ducked behind it, sort of like a chest-high wall.
In that case, then I would like to.
Y'all are ducked. I'm short.
Normal size humanoids are ducking.
Normal size humanoids are ducking. The halfling is just stood there, and Siegfried's just having a very difficult time.
Okay.
Yes, I'd like to cast Fairy Fire to cover as many of these guys as possible. It's a 20-foot cube. I've tried to measure it out, but I'm struggling a little bit with the.
Yeah, so a 20-foot cube.
Oh, brilliant! Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, is that going to be your action? Because I believe Fairy Fire counts as a spell. So is that going to be your action to do that, or are you going to try to make a rifle attack? Because a rifle attack will count as your action.
So
It says attacks per action 2. So would that mean that I could cast the spell and then fire the gun?
No, you would have to pick one or the other.
Okay. Well, I will cast Fairy Fire still.
This is the surprise round, so you have the option. You're going to essentially get 2 rounds of combat before before their turn.
I'll set them up, and it also helps with Z. And I know that guy's got his advantage on already, but I'm assuming that's only on the next shot. So
this will be on the next attack. Yes.
Yes. So then he still will have Fairy Fire on him. How long does Fairy Fire last?
Concentration up to a minute.
Yeah.
Any creatures in the area when the spell is cast is also outlined in light if it fails a dexterity save throw. For the duration, objects shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. Any attacks?
Can you see the square? Yeah.
I can. I was trying to see if I could angle it a little bit just to get that next guy, but I don't think I can.
I don't think you can.
No, that the angle that's at is the best angle it is.
Yeah.
He's just on the kind of cusp of it. That top guy.
Yeah, I can't get that last guy. But yeah, I'll do that. That's what I want to do.
So it's a dexterity saving throw to save against this, is what I'm understanding. So you need a bunch of saving throws. Let's start with the main guy. That's a natural 7 on the die. Assuming 9 is not going to beat your spell save.
Attack save is Dex 14.
9 definitely fails. The guy in the center of the moonbeam is framed in light. So I'm going to roll for the rest of these guys.
Which is the guy that failed? Because I'll put little red dots on them.
That would be the guy with the yellow marker against him.
These guys will need to roll at least a 12 on the die to get this. So let's roll for these guys in the front.
Start on
Guys
the
in
left
the
and
front.
move to the...
Yeah.
Oh, these guys on the front. Okay.
Yeah, so they've got a +2.
Yes, they've got a +2 and rolled a natural 2. They don't make it. Let's roll for these guys who I believe have a +1. Don't make it. And no. And no. Everyone within the fairy fire fails their saves. All of them are affected for as long as you maintain concentration. So if you take damage or try to cast another concentration spell, it will break. Are you doing anything else on your turn?
It's going to stay where I am because then I'm going to use bad news over this little wall to start popping people's faces off.
It's fine, that's good. Yes,
Nice
and
visual.
I will say, because you have access to quick draw, I will allow you to reload on a bonus action. For action economy reasons, you will still need to use a bonus action to reload it for each attempt to fire. But you have other action economy stuff you can do about that, such as action surge. But on your next turn, if you want to take multiple shots of a turn, it will have to be attack, bonus action reload, attack. And then you would have to reload to fire again on the next turn.
I think I follow.
So it's attack, bonus action, attack, bonus action. But you can also switch weapons as an object interaction. Anything else on your turn before we jump to Zeb? Okay, that's Errol's turn with Zeb on deck. Zeb is going to cast Hunter's Mark on this guy in the front. So let's give him another little marker. And he's going to use all of his movement. He has 30 feet of movement. He's going to close with this guy in the front to make 2 short sword attacks. That's a +5 to hit. So, first attack with advantage. That's a 13, which does not hit. And then he's going to roll the second one straight with a natural 20. So, yeah, that will be 2d6 +2 for 9 damage. And you see as he hacks at this guy. Oh, I forgot about Hunter's Mark. Let's see what that does. Whether that changes anything. An additional 2 damage. So yeah, you see Zebediah leap from off of a crumbling wall and begin hacking away at this figure standing before him, letting out a blood-curdling scream. And I'll say, on a passive insight of 19, Brenna, you clock that there is a ferocity in the way that Zebediah is attacking this figure. This is personal. Okay, that is the end of the surprise round. So we are going to jump back up to the top of the initiative proper. And it is Siegfried's turn again. And I think he is going to attempt to do some crowd control. His movement speed is 30. He also, if I remember correctly, has a flying speed. So Siegfried is going to move 30 feet out into the open. And since he's scaling this wall, all that 5 feet into 10, so 25, 30, to get here. And he's going to draw his dwarven thrower and is going to toss that at the Azamar figure. And with a 29, he definitely hits. So that is going to be 17 points of bludgeoning damage. And because he threw it, he's going to do an additional 1d8 damage.
Gonna look at Errol. Let's not piss off the paladin. Let's just not.
So that's an additional 6 bludgeoning damage. And what the hell? Let's throw some radiant on that. Let's throw a little bit of a smite on that. It's my first time smiting.
Paladin long distance spank. Gotcha.
Oh, yes.
Let's go for a 3rd level divine smite. That's 8 radiant damage reduced to 4. As you see this massive figure just get walloped straight in the face by the equivalent of Mjolnir flying in, it returns with a jolt to Siegfried's hand. And Zebediah, I think, turns and says to him, "Stay out of this. I can fight my own battles." And I think he'll take another shot on this cult fanatic. That would be the one. 25. Moved here. Yeah, he's going to take his second attack on this guy here. 24 definitely hits. It's going to be 15 points of bludgeoning damage. And this cult fanatic over here is instantly bloodied. He takes the full force of a large dwarven stone and metal hammer directly to the face.
Wow, that definitely don't piss off the paladin.
Okay, so on the previous one that was a branding smite, so he's going to do just a regular divine smite on this one.
Just going to
Also
make
remember you get advantage on all of these because they have fairy fire on them.
Honestly, like, I've been rolling. He has a plus 11 to hit, so.
Fair. He's good.
Yeah, so that's only 7 on the divine smite, but that is 7 points of radiant damage. So I'm going to say on that on this second one, this cultist just gets knocked to the ground and is in big trouble. So this fella here is just out for the count. He's this close to death and fully unprepared. So that is Siegfried's turn. Brenna, you're up next with Errol on deck.
Brenna kind of just watches the paladin go to town and looks at Errol and goes, "We're not pissing off that paladin. No. No. Do you think Zed wants our help or just not the paladin's?" Ask her.
I'm just
She
going to
can have
leave
a
that
bigger-
guy to him, and I'm going to take out these
There's
ones
others.
around.
It's a target-rich environment. It's a target-rich environment. We're gonna do
bottles of beer on the wall. Bottles of beer.
bonus action. We're gonna toss a spiritual weapon on this guy right here.
Okay, sure. So you summon your spiritual weapon. What does your spiritual weapon look like in this moment?
I'm gonna say it looks like a short sword, because I don't know what the Changebringers does look like.
Okay, and you do 9 points of force damage.
Yes.
Yes. So that would be cultist number.
That's my bonus action.
Okay.
And then my regular action, because it's a concentration, has to be cantrip. So we're gonna Toll of the Dead on that guy also. If he's within 6. Let me double check. I think he is. No, he is not. We'll move up. I can't move up.
He's already gone. He takes that. He only had 9 hit points. He's dead in 1 hit.
Okay. Well, shit.
1 cultist down.
Sweet.
So you manifest a short sword out of light. How does this short sword end this cultist chained oblivion?
It's like a glowing short sword, about halfling size, and it just like slashes at the guy, and just like, and Brenna's like, oh, that was easy. And then this one up here will get a sacred flame on them.
Okay, and what's the save situation on that?
It is I did not show the save.
Dexterity
Dex
save.
14.
Dex 14. So this acolyte needs to roll a 14 on the die. Does not make it. Natural 2. Takes the full damage.
Excellent. For a whopping 7 damage. But
So bloodied. So close to that.
and she's gonna kind of move up to like right here. So just kind of step in front of Errol. Get her a little closer.
So you're going to move up to here.
Yeah, she's gonna move 10 feet. And just be like, okay, I think we got this in the bag. Don't think that this is too scary as of yet. Just, don't die. Okay?
So,
Sorry. I can't give Zed this pep talk. He already ran in. He's stupid. But just don't die.
I promise not to die.
Oh dear.
So, Brenna, in short order, you summon a spiritual weapon. It slashes one of the cultists across the chest. They gurgle in shock and keel over, and you launch a sacred flame at the acolyte in the front of you. Holy light burns around him, flails and screams, as light from the benevolence of the Changebringer sears at his flesh. So your bonus action was a spiritual weapon. You used your action for Secret Flame. You moved a little bit closer. Okay. So, Errol, you are up with the cultists on deck. What you doing, bud?
Well, I'm going to set up bad news on this wall to give myself some balance, and I'm hoping that will give me something to help me with shooting and hitting appropriately, because I want to take out some people's faces. And I'm going to use a trick shot of piercing.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan is to shoot these fellas in such a way that I can pierce shot the pair of them.
I see.
Yeah, let me have a closer look at your feature. So you're going to do a trick shot, piercing shot.
Trick shot. When you make a firearm attack against a creature, you can expend 1 grit point to attempt to fire through multiple opponents. The initial attack gains a +1 to the firearm's misfire score. On a hit, the creature takes damage, and you make an attack roll with disadvantage against every creature in a line directly behind the target within your first range increment. Only the initial attack can misfire.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to be firing with bad news. Bad news has a misfire score of 3. So with a trick shot, your misfire score will be 4. So if you roll a 4 or lower on the attack roll on the actual dice, that will be considered a misfire. So go ahead and make your first attack roll.
Is that on the... Do I click hit DC?
Yes. It should add a +8 next to it. So it's +8.
There we go, boys.
So you want to...
Do I roll with advantage because of fairy fire?
I believe so. Roll with advantage, take the higher of the 2.
18.
18. The first guy will definitely hit. His next attack will be at a disadvantage. Because they have fairy fire, on them, I'll say you can roll this straight. So roll a second attack for the next guy. Your misfire score. No, actually, your misfire score is in effect. Only the first one can misfire. So yeah.
I roll this straight.
Yes, so you're rolling a straight.
21 definitely hits. Roll damage for trick shot.
15.
15.
Let's see. That'll be the one. Down. Dead. Cultist. Also dead.
Also dead. Cool.
So both of these guys done. Describe what happens as you put a bullet through two.
So in my head, after the pep talk I just got, I just put a hand on Brenna's shoulder and go, I promise not to die. Put the gun up, the bullet just shoots straight out through the shoulder of the first guy, just sort of making his top half sort of wobble a bit from all the hammering that he's had already, through the throat of the second guy, out and lands somewhere in the altar, sort of embedded in there. There's blood everywhere. There isn't much left. They just sort of like flop to the floor, and I'm like, see, I promise not to die. I promise they will die. There we go.
Okay. That was okay.
Errol, you line up a shot with bad news. This weapon that was given to you only recently, but you feel
That's a good point.
In this moment.
This is the first shot.
you feel in this moment you set the angle just right to blast a hole through the first guy and out of the back of him into the heart of the next cultist behind him. And it is textbook accuracy. The first guy crumples, the second guy falls to the ground, and you see the bullet whiz out of the back of the second guy and just obliterate something on the altar directly behind him as it carries on off into the darkness. You have another attack. If you want to attack him with bad news, you will have to reload, but you can do that as a bonus action.
I would like to reload. My question is how many grits do I get? I can't remember how you figure it out.
It's either tied to your proficiency or your wisdom. Let me just check. With one grit point that you gain after a short rest, you gain one more reward, 20 or roll. It's equal to your wisdom modifier. So you have one, but you spent one, and then you got it back.
And I'm assuming that doesn't stack because I killed two people with one shot and now I have two, because that would be mad.
It does not stack, but you spent one and gained. There's nothing to say that you can't use multiple grit points on a turn, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Okay, yes, it's tied to your wisdoms. Yeah, you can take a second shot and you can burn another grit if you so wish.
Right. Definitely. So I basically sort of say under my breath, like, sorry, sir, this gun's just too goddamn fun. And then I am going to do exactly the same thing, but I'm going to skirt around the paladin, through the nasty paladin, into the cultist behind him, and then back into the wall again. I'm going to do exactly the same thing.
Okay, because there is an overlapping field of fire here, you may need to move. Actually, no, yeah, that's... I'll say you're just... Yeah, you just skirt Siegfried.
Yeah. Just skirt. Yeah, it's cheeky as balls, but I can't just get around him. Right, so, and advantage again on my hit dice because of fairy fire and a ton of other things that first guy has on him.
You're just going to get advantage on this. I don't think you get the... I think only Zeb gets the benefit of Hunter's Mark. So you're just going to be rolling advantage, but you have advantage on the shot.
20. Unnatural 20.
Modified 20 hits. So you're trying to hit the guy behind him for sure. Do you have any reason to get the one in the back, or not?
What's the range on piercing?
120. So I can only get those two guys because otherwise I'm going to have to hit thingy. But I can hit those two.
In a line to within
and
your
I got
foot, so within.
13 damage.
So 13 damage. Did you roll the attack on the second guy?
No, I haven't. I've only rolled advantage on the first guy.
So, disadvantage, cancel out to roll straight on the second. 11. Let me just see here.
This is nasty.
Believe it or not, just hits.
And I only roll damage once, don't I? Which is the 13.
Yes. So 13 damage.
How we doing, boys?
So you take your second shot with bad news. You manage to catch this guy just under like one of the plates of his armor. This big, spiky, angry, hooked armor, and you can see him like attempting to tank this blow, but it still comes out the other side, and the guy behind him takes the full force and is dead. Down.
Amazing.
So
Right.
Really is bad.
Not gonna
fucking
piss you
news.
off either.
So,
See that kind of hooky armor? It looks fancy, but it's got gaps all over the place.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, I want to look evil. I want to look nasty." Like, well, that's all well and good, but there's a huge gaping hole in your armor there. So.
anything else you want to do on your turn before?
Reload again.
You'll have to do that on your next turn because you've used your bonus action.
Okay.
Do you want to move?
Nah, I'm good. I'm just going to take out this next guy in a bit. Well, actually, I will move. I will move. How? Well, I'm trying to remember what my movement even is. My movement is 30. So
Yes.
I will move to.
Because you're behind cover, I'll say it's going to be double movement to get over that wall. So call that 25 feet of movement.
Okay, I want to move to there.
Okay. So you're moving to here?
Yes.
Cool.
And then I've got a clear shot of the two last guys.
Okay. Now it is the turn of Drago, for that is his name.
That is a good name.
Let me see what Drago can do this turn.
So, sensing that the fight is rapidly turning against him, I will say that with Fairy Fire and everything that you guys have been doing, you can see that this guy is already quite bloody. He has had a bunch of damage rain down on him in the turn and a half that has already happened. You see black, oily smoke radiating off of his body. A shadow extends from his feet and steps out of the ground into three-dimensional space. And this smoky, oily, shadowy, black doppelganger of him is going to appear within 15 feet of him. He's going to be, let's say, here. So that's going to be his bonus action. And I think because he's closest to Zeb, he's going to attack with his longsword. It's going to be a 30 to hit, which does in fact hit. So he's going to go for the two-handed attack. It's going to be... Ooh. In fact, it is 16 points of damage. Yeah, so Zeb takes 16 points of piercing damage and is wounded.
So,
What does wounded mean?
Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack using this magic weapon, you can wound the target. At the start of each of the wounded creature's turns, it takes 1d4 necrotic damage. For each time you wound it, and it can then make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, ending the effect of all such wounds on itself on a success. Alternatively, a creature or a creature within 5 feet of it can use an action to make a DC 15 medicine check, ending the effect of such wounds on it on a success. I'm just going to put that in the he. So each turn, until somebody does something about it, he's going to take an additional 1d4 of necrotic. I think he's just going to attack him again. He's going to take another attack. 19 definitely hits for 12 points of damage. So 15, in fact, points of damage. So on his next turn, Zeb is going to take 2d4 of necrotic. Zeb's already looking bloody himself as he looks into the face of this huge creature and screams at him, "You killed my family!" And Dragor looks down on him and says, "I've killed a lot of people's family."
Me, it was but a Tuesday.
I was thinking Bison also.
I mean, how could you not? He is the trope.
Julia.
Oh, indeed, yes. But yes, he is the trope namer. We did not have the terminology for that until he was in that terrible, terrible movie.
That amazing movie. How dare
Amazing
you.
movie. What are you talking about?
The amazing movie that is technically not very well executed.
It's technically terrible.
It's amazingly terrible.
We can't do a whole podcast arguing this. Let's
could.
not.
He chose to play M. Bison because of his kids. Like,
Oh, yeah.
He was offered like 2 different roles, and he chose to do that one because his kids picked out one of his major
And
roles.
he was perfect.
I am not speaking ill of the late and very great Raul Julia. He had his reasons, and I respect him. He put in a hell of a performance in a movie that is objectively not that good.
Which makes it
Even better.
It did not deserve him, but there it is.
That film is amazing. I need to watch that film now. Anyway,
Yeah.
Zeb's terrible moment where his family is dead.
Oh yes.
Oh no, my family's dead. For me, it was Tuesday. Meanwhile, behind the wall, we had a family. We really should probably get to know each other a little bit better.
Probably.
So, that is the end of Dragor's turn with Zeb on deck. Zeb is going to be rolling some saves here, or a save. So he needs a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. He's going to take the 2d4 whatever happens, and then he needs to make a save to not take more. So it's going to be a pretty rough round for Zeb. 6 necrotic damage. Zeb feels his strength beginning to sap as he struggles to pull himself back together from that last hit. He's going to make a Constitution saving throw. Fortunately for him, potentially, he is within a certain distance of a friendly paladin who's going to try and aid him with Aura of Protection. So I'm going to give him +3. I believe he's within 10 feet. Yeah, so he has a +3 on this. He needs to roll an 11 or better on this Constitution save. 17 on the die makes it. He is no longer wounded, and he's going to stab wildly at this figure who is looming over him. So, 15 on the first die and a 2 on the second. So 1 hits, 1 does not. So that's going to be 1d6 +2, 4. Oh, he needs to make a Constitution save. Hunter's Mark. I think Hunter's Mark is down. I think the damage he took from the last one is a 12 is not going to kill it. It's not going to cut it. Straight 4 damage. Yeah, he's going to. Yeah, I'm going to say that Zeb is done for this round. He's looking rough. He's holding his own, but he's looking very rough. Pinned down on 2 sides. Cult Guy's next. So, who actually get to make their first moves, any moves in this round. So this acolyte in the back, what's he going to do? He is going to
Run away!
He might.
Run away!
You know what?
I'm leaving.
You know what? Let's
Or
make
Alton.
it. Let's make it an honest luck check.
Fair enough.
You want high on this.
Okay.
5. He is going to.
Apparently, he is not scared of people exploding.
Well, you know, the kind of people that you have in cults, typically it takes a lot more for them to really rethink their line of work.
I knew this was going to end in death anyway.
So he is going to move 20 feet to here, seeing that someone in the party already cast Sacred Flame. This acolyte in the back is going to cast Sacred Flame Zeb for a total of. It's a cantrip. Should have Sacred Dexterity save. So it's a save or take the damage. Zeb needs to make a Dexterity save of 12? Yeah. So I have it on higher on the D20. Does it? Yeah, makes the save, takes no damage. And then this cultist over here, you gonna do a movement of 30. I'm just gonna get to. Yeah, you can get hit. So this last cultist is going to move. He's going to close with Zeb. He's just going to make a melee attack.
Ooh, that helps.
70 to hit. That's 3 points of damage. We just have this cult fanatic. And seeing that his cohort are all ganging up on Zeb, he's going to cast Hold Person on Zeb, which is a Wisdom save of 11. And Zeb makes a save. This cultist begins to chant, and you see Zeb's limbs start to get heavy. And it looks as though he's beginning to freeze up, but he grimaces, shakes his head, and he's like, "No, not this time, not again," and breaks free. That is going to bring us back to the top of the initiative order. So that is going to be Zikri.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what he can do. He wants to deal with these cultists, but he also considers Zebediah is very badly injured. So he is going to cut across here and interpose himself between Drager and Zebediah, and he is going to put 20 points of lay on hands into Zebediah. That's his whole action. That's what he can do. So he's going to cast Shield of Faith as a bonus action.
All good. My favourite thing on the big diagram, which the viewers at home will not be able to see, is the sword that's just hovering behind a dude that just looks like a banana. That's been drawn, and this man's going to be attacked with a banana soon.
I'm wondering what that is. I think that was. I think I was attempting to draw something, but I can't remember what it was.
I think it's a spiritual weapon.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes, it's a spiritual banana.
Oh.
Okay, so he casts Shield of Faith, so Zebediah's AC goes up. A shimmering shield appears and surrounds a creature of your choice within range, granting it +2 bonus AC for the duration. Concentration is up to 10 minutes. I don't think he had anything up previously that was concentration. If he did, it was probably something like, well, whatever it was, it's down. So I think he's going to just concentrate on keeping Zebediah alive. Yeah, his current armor class should now be 13. Okay, that's all we can really do. He's going to just sort of put himself in space. You see these two Azimars, one shining, armored, golden hair, pale-skinned, impossibly beautiful creature, just standing steadfast and trying to shield Zebediah. And on the other hand, you see this fallen, soul-blackened, unholy vision of what could have been as these two square up. And Siegfried says, "Begone! You do not belong in this world, and neither does your master." That is Siegfried's turn, with Brenner on deck.
We're still hiding behind a little stone wall here.
Use the banana.
Yes.
It should be movable. It should be.
Yeah, I can move it. It's just I have a guiding bolt here, and I'm just like, yeah. So I'm gonna move it forward to smack at this guy.
Okay. Make an attack roll. 21 definitely hits.
For 8 damage. That was my bonus action. My main action.
Let me just check. God, I'm trying to recall which of these was which.
He has a red dot on him, which represented some sort of spell or something.
I think that means he's bloody. In which case, that one done, dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is out of there. You move your spiritual weapon, and it cleaves down across the front of this cultist, who is very much not long for this world to begin with, and he just a singeing line, holy light burns across his chest, and he is unmade in an instant. Goes up, and just lets out like a Wilhelm scream, just bursts into holy flame, and crumples into dust.
Can't wait to add in the actual Wilhelm scream on top of the noise you just made in post-production.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure. The Wilhelm scream is public domain. We know this.
I kind of hope that we don't know it. It's just your impression of a Wilhelm scream that we use, and we now use that clip whenever we have a Wilhelm scream. We now use you going.
Yeah.
We'll have an in-house rag scream.
Like corridor. They have their own screens.
Main action. I'm gonna poke my little head up, and I'm gonna sacred flame this guy.
Which guy?
This one.
So on the left here, we've got the cultist. On over here, this is Dragor's Echo. This kind of like shadowy figure. You could definitely still attempt to attack it.
No, I'll do the cultist.
Okay.
That one right there.
It's ultimately up to your discretion. I just wanted to clarify because it's not.
So it needs to be a DC 14 Dex save.
DC 14 Dex save. Let's see what these cultists have got in terms of Dex.
Hopefully not that good. Maybe possible.
Okay, so yeah, the acolytes are done. Cultist and cult fanatic. Yeah. Dex saving throws.
Yep. DC 14.
Okay, that's +1. So let's go. Oof. That's 2 on the D20 +1 for 3.
Cool. He takes all 9 of that damage.
Okay. So
Say he takes 9 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 9 points of damage kills him. So yeah, cultists down.
Sweet.
There's a rapidly dwindling number of people still involved in this fight, and I'm just gonna roll a straight luck check. You want high. 13 is technically high. You know, it's squarely in the middle, but it's on the higher end of the middle. This last cultist just begins to sort of see that the tide is very notably turned against them very rapidly, and he's going to take the dagger that is held in his hand, and he just says, "You'll never take me alive. Hail, Faris Doom," and slashes his own throat. takes himself out. Like, they don't fear death, but they know when the getting's good. This guy was like, I would rather die by my own hand than get burned by holy flame. Which I believe takes all of them off the board. Yeah. The morale of these cultists has been thoroughly broken in rapid succession. And now you are just down here in a long defiled temple with a insane demon worshipping Azamar, who is basically too insane to be afraid or to run away. So you get the impression that this is the person you are going to have to deal with.
Excellent.
Is this also the guy that Zebediah is very much wanting to kill, particularly himself?
Oh yes.
And we know that as well. Like we had that conversation.
I think you would.
Or are we unaware?
I feel like you guys, from context clues alone, are able to sort of discern that. And Zebediah did, in the midst of this combat, scream at this person at the top of his lungs, "You killed my family."
So.
Oh yeah, that would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would do it.
So this guy is, on one hand, doesn't have any of his cult flunkies to back him up, but he does appear to be able to summon his own shadow as an ally during combat.
Mm-hmm.
Things are looking up, but they can turn on a dime. We'll see.
So that, I believe, is Bretta's turn, unless you have anything you want to do. Action, bonus action, any movement?
One thing I got left is a move, but I won't really get anywhere too quickly, so I got short legs.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna stay right there. Very safe.
Okay. So that's the end of Brenda's turn. That brings us to Errol with Dragor on deck.
Okay. So this shadowy fella, like, can I what I'm thinking is I don't want to fire a bullet into a shadow and it come out the other side and then hit Z in the back of the neck. So can I tell from where I'm sat whether this is something that will react well to bullets, or is it like a semi-translucent-y, wraithy?
Make an Arcana check.
Ooh. Gonna use the dice that we got me. Where is Arcana? It's +1.
Well, we'll say on an 11, it does appear to be slightly solid, but you do not get a sense of what its weaknesses or vulnerabilities would be. You would have to interact with it a lot closer in order to make that kind of leap. But you get the impression that it is following the commands of this other person, that it isn't just... It doesn't look like an illusion per se, it looks like a separate entity. That is to say, you don't think that it's a mirror image or some kind of illusion-based spell. You feel like this is part of whatever corruption has taken over Dragor, has allowed him to essentially split off a part of himself to have like a certain level of independence outside of his own will. But it is also tethered to him through his shadow.
Okay, yeah, because I suppose in my head, Errol knew that it was something tangible, but it was whether like how gaseous it is to like shoot bullets into it, or whether this is just gonna be like firing and it's just gonna go straight through and it's just gonna waste my turn. So, do you know what? I'm gonna do something mad because it's my thing. What I'm gonna do is I want to charge at it and then sort of rugby tackle it out of the way so that it doesn't have a go at Z from behind, so that Z and Siegfried can both have a go at the proper dude.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, I have 30, which 25 takes me to him. So in my head, if I double that to 60, I can properly like shoulder barge tackle him to the ground. But what I also want to do is I want to holster Bad News and take out my pistols, so that once I have rugby tackled him to the ground, I can just shoot him in the head if I find out how.
Well, let's resolve the tackle first.
Let's see how dumb this
Yeah.
is first.
I will say, you would like depending on whether you can successfully tackle this thing. Let me consult this quickly. I'm just looking at it. It has to make a saving. You must use your bonus. I'm gonna make this.
Not going to be scared of a little shadow.
We're gonna make this.
Underdark.
Well, we're gonna make this. What we're gonna do? We're gonna make this opposed. Yeah, this is shove it.
Athletics.
So, yeah, so opposed athletics. So your
Opposed athletics.
yeah.
I have +2 on athletics.
Okay.
I got 19.
Okay. Draco gets a +7 to this, so I'm going to...
It's nothing.
It's made of
He could
the
roll a 1.
light. Come on.
He could roll a 1. He didn't roll a 1.
Yeah, he didn't roll one. I'm going to say, here's the thing. You barge into this thing and you don't successfully manage to shove it. As you kind of run and try to tackle this thing to the ground, it disperses like a puff of smoke and you basically travel through it. Traveling 25. I'll see you in here. Give me a dexterity saving throw to not fall prone.
Dexterity, where's my saving throws? There they are.
Call it a 15.
5.
So
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So you stumble. You don't take any damage, but due to the shock of this thing that you thought was going to have mass and weight and be something that you could grab, the momentum carries you forward and you basically go ass over tea kettle onto the ground. Because you're in combat mode, you kind of finesse it out and combat roll into it because you are prepared for this move anyway. But you see this shadow disperse into nothingness.
Cool. In that case, do I still have an attack left?
I'll say that was a shove attack, so yeah, you get 2 attacks in a row.
I'm just thinking that now I'm in a really good position, even if I'm sprawled on the ground, to just shoot at Mr. Nasty Draco Man and Dragor, Draggle, Dragly Boo, and I'm just going to shoot him in the face from the floor.
okay, give me an attack roll.
Well, as I said, as I was running towards, in my head, I put bad news away before I did my tackle and got my pistols out. Can I dual wield pistols yet?
I'm going to say probably not.
Okay, so I've got one pistol. Cool, I've got one pistol. I'm just going to use my regular pistol, and it's got regular ammunition in it. I don't think I stocked it up with anything special this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So I will just use that on Dragly Boo, and that was 23.
23 hits. He's going to use a reaction to reduce the damage by 1d10 plus 2. So roll damage.
13.
8. So 5 points of damage. So yeah, you go charging at this shadowy echo. You dive and it disperses into a puff of smoke and disappears in front of you. You land on the ground, quick draw, aim at the guy, pull the trigger, the gun goes off, the bullet whizzes through the air. Almost in bullet time, his hand whips up and snatches the bullet out of the air.
Oh. Well, that's a thing.
Like his arm yanks back a bit, like the recoil of it, literally catching the bullet does something to him, but it definitely feels like he managed to divert or just take the worst of what that bullet could do and diminished it somehow.
I feel like Errol will be taken very much by surprise by that, because although he's used these guns for a long time and he lives in a magical land where people are various critters, I don't think he's ever seen anything like that in his time in like small town criminality in a backwater town of where he's just a regular sheriff. So I think he's just kind of like, okay, that's a problem.
As you look up and make eye contact with Drago, give me a wisdom saving throw real quick.
Nat 1. That's silence ended.
No.
In the back of your head, you hear chains rattling, distant screaming, swords clashing, screaming. Inside your head, there is something about this figure. It's not familiar exactly, but there is something about this person and their inherent abyssal energy that terrifies you, that is drilling into your head. You have seen people in the Underdark be driven mad by the power of the abyss and what it does to the minds of mortal men. And I'm gonna say, for the rest of this combat, and until you take a long rest, you take 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay.
If you go into conditions on your sheet, you should find
Exhaustion. There it is.
yes, so 1 level of exhaustion. Just because you hit a nat 1, I'm gonna just I don't usually like punishing people like this, but my regular DM has inspired me to. In this circumstance, it feels appropriate. So the effects of exhaustion.
Exhaustion levels. The condition is cumulative. Each time you receive it, you gain 1 exhaustion level. You die if I get to 6. D20 tests effective. When you make a D20 test, your roll is reduced by 2 times your exhaustion level. Jesus. Your speed is reduced by a number of feet equal to 5 times your exhaustion level. Jesus. Removing exhaustion levels. Finishing a long rest removes 1 exhaustion level. Well.
Yes.
I am exhausted.
You feel the mental toll of this reminder of a past that you have actively tried to forget, or that maybe you don't even remember in the first place. It's hard to say, but there is something deeply unwholesome and troubling, and frankly cuts right to the core of your personality about this being that represents everything that you've been running from your entire life, and it terrifies you. You feel your limbs get heavier as the weight of that falls upon you. You're still prone on the ground, and you don't take any damage from this, but there is suddenly a great weight of existential dread hovering over you. The chains you've been hearing, the name, the Chained Oblivion, the Angel of Irons, this is associated with the formless horrors of the abyss. This is the abyss calling out to you. And in this moment, you have looked into the blackness at the heart of the multiverse, and it has looked back at you, and you blinked first. Sorry, pal.
Yes, I imagine Errol is, again, he's having a lot of new experiences recently, whether it's bisexual merchants to abyssal horrors. He's a bit overwhelmed at present with, this is not the small town, this is not Kansas anymore. So yeah, it's really going to show on his face that he thought he was away from all of this, becoming sheriff of a town, thought he got away from being from that kind of, like, he knew he's seen good and bad, and he's decided that bad pays off more, but he thought he'd got away from evil, and now he's, as you say, he's blinked in the face of it.
I think at this moment, you sort of, as you disassociate slightly, you recognize this as not the sort of lawful evil of the evil of the Nine Hells, where people who do evil in the name of being lawful and structured in a sort of hierarchy of evil. And not in the sort of the smaller evils of what you experienced, where it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that on the side. This is pure, unfeeling, uncaring chaos. The sort of notion that this is a force of evil that does not care for you, maybe doesn't even consider or recognize you. And in that brief moment of recognition, it found a fulcrum of where your will keeps you in balance, keeps you in control and in check of your faculties and your sense of self and ego, and just turned it on its head. And you are temporarily, in a psychological sense, knocked for a loop as you try to marshal yourself and pull yourself out of this sudden moment of malaise. Is there anything else you wish to do on your turn?
I feel like that striking him has just sort of that in my head ends what he would have like. He's just a bit dazed by the image and the sounds of it all, and he's just staring at this guy. What does he look like? Like we probably discussed this in the last one, but just from my what now he's up close and personal with the guy and he's feeling all of this. Like in my head, he's now just weighing up what he's looking at. So, what does this guy look like now? He's up close and personal with him. Well, as close as you can be when you're laying on the floor after jumping through a shadow that you thought was tangible and wasn't. As cool as you can, like he's just lounging on the floor with his head in his hands, like, yeah, I meant to do this.
I think in getting closer and having this moment, you do see it is that thing of, like, it is the dark mirror of Siegfried, of this other Asm. The armor is there, but it is hooked and gnarled and chitinous. It is almost like... Did you ever play Soul Calibur?
I did.
It's like the difference between Siegfried when he's in his Soul Calibur shining armor that's all very angular and very clean lines and very smooth and gold and silver and light based, and then when he's in nightmare form, where it's just he looks like something that has come out of hell. This is a death knight. Aasimar are of celestial bloodline, but they are also very vulnerable to becoming fallen. It's the classic thing of the line from Cowboy Bebop. It's when angels are forced out of heaven, they have no choice but to become devils. But in this case, this is someone who once might have been as beautiful and as radiant as Siegfried, but somehow, through either a weakness of will or the draw of the abyss being too much, they have succumbed to the dark side, and their eyes are these hollow black holes of just not even hatred, but this completely indifferent disregard for anything that is not the object of their desire, which is to bring the chained oblivion into the prime material. This sallow, ashen skin, long, greasy, matted hair. There is evidence of scarification and abyssal glyphs visible on the skin, of sunken cheeks. This person has essentially mortgaged their physical constitution and their sanity in service of an elder god that is evil, ancient, and hungry.
Nasty fucker, then.
Yes. Not good. And
good.
Yes.
And that person is currently hovering over you with a massive black longsword that at one point was being used against Zebediah, but is slowly inching around towards you in this moment. So if that brings us to the end of your turn, that brings us to Dragor.
The nasty fuck himself.
Mm.
Dragor. Gonna remember that, so we'll stop calling him Dragly Babes.
Dragor finds himself in a pretty awkward spot here. There's a lot of things he could be doing.
Nothing good is going to happen. Nothing good to do.
Be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay, so he's going to manifest another echo as a bonus action.
Also, when it dispersed, it just fully dispersed. It didn't come back together again. It just fully disappeared.
No, it fully dispersed. So he's going to re-manifest that echo here.
I am surprised that it is right in front of my face. Beyond surprise. Shockingly, the guy that went through him, that's now sprawled out on the floor. He's sending it towards that guy. I'm shocked.
And he is going to
Ruin my day.
He's going to attack Zeb with his first attack, which is going to be, he's going to attack with longsword. And miraculously, because of Shield of Faith, it doesn't hit. It's a swing and a miss. He's going to take another attack on Siegfried, because he's closest, which does appear to hit. No, I tell a lie, it does not hit. Siegfried has a lot of fucking armor class. This really nasty black longsword swings out twice and hits neither Zeb nor Siegfried. And I think that's basically all he can do. He's boxed in. Can't. Can he? He's going to. No, he can't do that either. He's already manifested his echo. So, yeah, action surge. Yeah. Next round of attacks. So that's going to be. He needs to deal with Siegfried. Just can't quite get it. 17. No, he can't get it on a 50. He wastes his action surge, taking wild stabs. So, because Siegfried's a paladin, he's got all the various auras up. Just Siegfried being in this space is essentially keeping Zeb alive. And also making it so that it's a lot harder for Drago to hit both of them. Because he's just this huge, gleaming tank of a person who just throws his arms up and is swatting away blows. Yeah, what could have been a really rough turn turns into an absolutely stupid one. Drago completely falls apart in terms of his battle strategy. So that was Drago's turn, which finally brings us to Zeb with Siegfried back at the top of the initiative order. So Zebediah, just in terms of seeing this huge angelic figure leap into the fray next to him, try to body him out of the way to avoid the one glancing blow at him, just looks up and says, I can fight my own battles, keep out of this, and is going to try and go for Drago himself. He's going to take 2 short sword attacks. It's going to be 18 definitely hits. So that's going to be 6 points of damage. Take a second attack. 25 definitely hits. It's another 6 damage. Plus another 6 per attack. 6 plus 6. So that's 12 plus 11. That's 23. You see Zebediah launch himself at this creature and just do a shitload of damage. Absolutely wiping the floor with them. There's basically nothing keeping this guy alive, just beyond sheer insane will. So Zebediah leaps towards this figure, hacks him, slashes him. His short sword goes up, and with a final scream of defiance, goes through the chest and out the other side. Drago goes limp on the sword in his eyes. Because of the blackness in his eyes, you can't see what his expression is, whether it's surprise or anger. There is nothing there. And this black blood starts oozing, not running, but oozing like black tar or pitch down the length of Zeb's short sword. And in this moment, there is really not a lot he can do. If he pulls the sword out of himself, he's just going to bleed out. If he pulls himself further in, he's just going to die faster. But there's nothing that betrays any hint of remorse or regret or fear or anger in this creature's eyes. Give me a perception check. Brenna, if you want to make this, you'll be at disadvantage unless you can figure a way of offsetting that.
21.
All right, let's see. Ooh, that's a bad roll. Yeah, I don't see anything.
I'll say that, Brenna, you're a little too far away, and there is too much in the way and going on in this moment for you to get a clear line eye line on this. But Errol, on that, what did you say it was? 21?
Or
Yes, 21.
I'll say on a 21, being where you are, at the angle that you are, you see it most clearly. And on a dirty 20, Siegfried sees this too. The black I-cord that is going down the blade doesn't move like blood, like trickling down something. It seems to be moving along kind of the contours of the blade in a way that seems as though it is slightly going against the direction of gravity and instead is going up and along the blade instead of down, gravitating along the curve of it
towards Zeb. Like
So there's
along
like
the
this
blade.
black
up
goo
the-
coming down the blade towards.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what do? Do you do anything? Do you say anything?
So sorry, just from in my Zeb's stabbed up,
Yeah.
and the
Into
goo's
the
coming
space.
down his blade
Yeah.
towards his hand.
Towards. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think realistically, like with all the chains clattering in my head and how much time has elapsed. It's only been a few seconds.
Oh,
So
that's right. You still have a little bit of exhaustion.
So I'm trying to decide. Like, that's a good point. I should have. I didn't get 21 then because I should have taken off. Okay.
So on a dirty 20, you would still see it.
I think he just calls out to Zeb. He just sort of like says like Zeb, like he just calls out to him to like make him aware of what's is happening. But I imagine that Zeb's going to notice that pretty soon anyway.
Zeb is going to. I didn't actually roll a perception for him, but given the circumstances, I'm going to say he's going to roll. He might not even need to roll disadvantage because he just rolled a 4 for 9 total.
He's locked on. He does not know what's going
Yeah,
on.
no. But
I will say that you calling out snaps him out of this moment, and he sees it. He's going to make, because it's caught him by surprise, he's going to make a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage to avoid whatever this is.
That's the sound of someone watching the dice rolls come in. For anyone listening at home.
It's okay. It's okay. They're just. It's okay. Not dead yet. Deeply maimed.
The black goo. It seems to sense that it is being perceived, and thus, instead of like slowly raising up the arm, it suddenly lunges, and you see one of the wounds that is on Zeb's torso from the previous hit. It lunges at the open wound and begins to drill and dig into his body. And Dragor fully goes limp and slides off of Zeb's sword as Zeb kind of seizes up and loses his grip on the sword. Dragor falls dead to the ground. The shadow echo once again disperses into smoke, but it starts crawling up Zeb's legs, and you see this kind of oily black ooze and shadow forcing itself into his body. He tries to scream, but his tongue is wedged in the top of his mouth. His eyes roll back. It looks as though he's having a seizure. He's shaking. He falls to the ground. This is all deeply terrifying. This is like Frodo in the Fellowship of the Ring getting stabbed by a Morgul blade. His skin begins to visibly turn ashen grey, and froth is at the corner of his mouth. Siegfried instantly drops to his knees and starts attempting to pump lay on hands and other healing magic into him. It's very fraught. It's deeply troubling for a second.
Brenna, Errol, what are you doing in this situation?
Brenna doesn't see it at first, rolls, and she's like, we'll slowly poke her head up. Is he dead?
That's in my head. Errol's having like a full-on existential crisis. Like he's in the face of evil, the second person in the party is dying in front of him, and he's not processing this at all. And then just in the background, he goes, "Is he dead?" And it's like, they're all dead. Like everyone is dead. Like which?
Oh. Well, good. We won the day. And she'll kind of like, not realizing the gravity of the situation, kind of like pop up, come up, and be like, I can't remember my mini, but oh shit, not the wrong not the one that I meant dead. I don't want that one dead. I want the other one's dead.
Has the shadowy thing dispersed?
Dragor is on the ground. He's dead. He's a corpse.
Like fully dead. It's not like bubbling from the mouth and we can get a final few words from him. He's fully just dead. Everybody's dead, Dave. Dave, everybody's dead. Level dead.
You get the impression, I will say, based on the previous situation, I'll say that you get a pretty clear impression from this encounter and all of this occurring in rapid succession that this individual is not really going out of their way to smirk and leer and mock you guys. This is not that person. This is not Renard. This is someone who, when someone confronted them about killing their parents, didn't even blink. It's the classic thing of, you took everything from me, and the other person saying, I don't even know who you are. There is nothing for them to gloat over here, except the sense that whatever master they serve, the work continues, whether they live or die. They are now surplus to requirements, they have served their purpose, and now they're done. He's gone. You can make an investigation check on him if you want more detail on that, but yeah, the immediate situation is whatever was inside of him has basically abandoned its host. Whatever the abyssal power that was essentially manifesting in him has treated his body as a rat leaving a sinking ship.
Do I have to tell you what I got on an investigation roll if I did decide to roll it after what you told me?
What I was just telling you was more like, an insight. This is for investigation purposes in terms of like what you can pull off of his body. His body hasn't like turned to ash or anything. It's still there.
So this is me touching him with the dice roll that I just got.
Go on.
Do I have? Must I?
I don't know.
I got a nat 1 on investigation. So am I just putting my hands through all the daggers on his belt? Like,
I will say on that.
So on that natural one, you reach out for this guy's body and you snag your finger on one of the spikes and instantly yank it away, and like a little bit of that black like ichor is just like on the tip of your finger, and Siegfried is just like, no, don't touch that, and just like slaps your hand away.
Naughty, no! You're evidently stupid, stop it.
Like, his attention is being tugged rapidly between trying to keep Zebediah alive and also in trying to fend off this latent abyssal force that you can see him straining to keep him alive. And he calls to you, Brenna, and says, I need some help here. I need to keep him stable. If we do not get him to some sort of powerful cleric or to a temple soon, not only may he die, he could bring something far worse into this world. Please, give me a hand here.
You are going to...
She'll hurry over.
You see Zeb frothing in the mouth and his breathing is shallow. Give me an Arcana check, first off. A medicine or Arcana.
Medicine or Arcana?
Let's go both. Arcana first, then medicine.
And depending on how you do with your Arcana, you may be able to roll the medicine check with advantage.
While you're doing that in my head, Errol is getting himself up to his feet using like the butt of his pistol as like a thing to lift himself up while he just like watches this kind of wide-eyed and in a bit of shock.
I doubt I'm going to be able to roll it with advantage, considering that was a 5. For my Arcana, medicine is...
Okay. I won't penalize you.
Much better.
Yeah.
between what you're seeing here, this is a level of magical illness that
Fuckery.
that you are not unfamiliar with, but that you are by no means proficient in. Again, this is it's Fellowship of the Ring. He needs elven medicine. He needs to be taken to a temple. He needs a high-level cleric or someone with powerful healing magic. Do you have Greater Restoration stocked?
I have a lesser restoration. I don't think I'm up to the level of greater. No, I'm not up to. Oh, actually, I lied. I do.
Ooh.
My necklace has greater restoration on it. My prayer
Greater-
beads.
Greater Restoration would do something about the immediate threat of him dying. He would definitely still need to recuperate. This for him to be instantly better is going to take more than what you have to hand right here and now. But a Greater Restoration would basically stabilize him in this given circumstances. This is powerful abyssal magic.
Yes. In that case, I will.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we got here by weird teleportation ring circly doodad. Is there such a thing in here that we can sort of arcanically jerry-rig to get us back? Because in my head, if you're in the middle of a mountain and you're doing loads of things with cultists...
You are deep in a mountain here. I'll say, if you're investigating... If you're looking for an active teleportation circle, I'd say give me Arcana or Investigation.
Let me just check what I'm good at. Arcana is +1, Investigation is +4, so I'm going to investigate. Oh my god, 2 + 4 - 1. So I just stab my hand on someone. Errol gets to his feet and then just stabs himself repeatedly with toothpicks.
I think
Errol has had his bell rung. He's not having a good time. I think like anything you look at, any time you look at something that might be arcane, it just like something in the back of your head winces and you can't look at it. You can't focus on it too closely. You just hear the clanking of chains again and it just re-traumatizes you again. So I think in this circumstance, even if there was an active teleportation circle nearby, you would not be proficient enough to recognize it, let alone in the right frame of mind to operate it yourself. You are not a spellcaster per se. You have access to a small amount of magic through your lineage, but you are not proficient as a spellcaster. Ergo, you would not be in a position to realistically teleport someone out. As you were talking about this, though, I think in this circumstance, you are like thinking and talking aloud about how do we get people out of here? How do we get back? Siegfried's concentration is really split in this moment between trying to keep Zeb alive and trying to figure solutions at the same time. And he's like, I have a helm of teleportation. I could get him back, but then I wouldn't be able to concentrate on healing him.
At that moment, Brenna will take the bead of restoration off and slam it into him and get him there now. And use the prayer necklace for the greater restoration.
You cast Greater Restoration on Zebediah. He stabilizes. He's breathing slow. It remains shallow, but it is slower. His eyes stop rolling back in his head, and he's just unconscious. But he's alive. He is stable for now. So, without the stress of having to just constantly pump healing magic into Zeb, Siegfried has a moment to think, and he looks around and thinks for a second. I can transport him back myself, but I will not leave you on your own.
Oh, We'll catch up.
There is another way. And he puts 2 fingers in his mouth and whistles in a pitch that is almost deafening and rings off the walls of this massive cabin and deep into the mountain. And he calls out, Sleipnir!
Ow. The little
Just to
half
continue the
Ow.
Lord of the Rings references, like, is this like when the Eagles turn up and they could have just solved the problem right at the start? And they've always been there. Like, wait a second. Like, if we always had a bunch of eagles that could just solve this problem, do we now have a thing that's going to turn up? Like, why didn't you bring this
You
guy earlier?
And the sound of hooves against stone, but it's the rhythm. It's very strange. It's like it sounds not like a single horse, but 3 or 4 different horses all galloping at once. And into the light, you see. Let me find some visual aids for you here.
You said Sleipnir a moment ago. Then I have a feeling I know what you're.
You see a beautiful white stallion with 8 legs, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and 4 more in the middle. In this sort of orientation.
Nope. This Sleipnir freaks me out. It's like every time I see pictures, whenever I see artwork.
What in the spider fucking horse is that?
Spider horse does whatever a spider horse does. Like,
It
no,
is-
he just
Sleipnir is,
scares me.
Sleipnir is technically an arachnid.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm trying to remember if Sleipnir is male or female.
They're Loki's kid, aren't they?
One
In
of
the
them?
original Norse. Yeah, one of his many.
Yes.
Like, and I can't remember, like, is this one of the ones where, like, he had sex with himself or with a tree?
Oh,
or,
it's
like,
definitely one of those. Like any of the many creatures from the like Loki's children is either him sleeping with something weird or sleeping with himself in a weird form. Oh, yeah.
Or sleeping with someone
But-
else, but he's the weird thing.
Yeah. But no,
Yeah, Sleipnir freaks me out. For Sleipnir, really, like, whenever I see pictures, like, even really old, like, carvings, like, of the, like, the original sort of depictions of, like, nah, that makes me feel all squeaky. That's, like, no horse should have that many legs. I don't want Sleipnir to turn up Adams. Like, I'm fine with us just dying in this mountain. Spider horse can stay outside.
Oh, good lord. Okay, I googled it.
none of this is being cut, by the way.
I'm aware.
Oh,
People need to
great.
know how terrifying this horse is. There should be a trigger warning more on the horse than on the guy dying.
And yes, like Sleipnir is male, so you
That's
have
12 dicks.
no,
To go through his 8 legs.
no. No.
just one very big one. That's
That's one of the 8 legs.
What?
He has 7 legs.
oh.
Sorry, Zeph.
Welcome to a podcast with Windy. Eventually, it turns into a dick joke.
I didn't mean it to, but it was a cheeky bonus.
So this giant 8-legged stallion comes in out of nowhere, bathed in radiance. The radiance that was emanating off of Siegfried is similarly radiating off of this creature. This celestial 8-legged horse that rears up in front of you, giving you the full view of everything as nature intended. And it just comes back down and clops around and just sort of comes up and nuzzles close to Siegfried, and he just kind of pats it gently, and he reaches into like a pouch or something on his armor and takes out a handful of grain or something, and just this horse eats out of his hand and nuzzles up to him, and he's like, "Listen, my friend, you must bring this man back to Imon safely. Bring him to the Council of Taldori. They will know what to do with him. I will send a message along with you, but you must hurry. His life is in great danger. And the horse kind of nods and makes a click with its tongue. And Siegfried pulls up Zebediah and just kind of lays him across the saddle of this horse and straps him down, places a hand on his head and says, "Be safe. Hopefully we will see you again soon." And he just gives the horse what to him would seem like a gentle tap to get it moving, but them both being the size that they are, it's a pretty meaty slap on the haunches, and Schlettner rears, whinnies. Miraculously, somehow Zeb does not immediately fall off, and it gallops off into the distance, and you just hear the sound of echoing, thundering, galloping horses disappearing into the distance, and a final whinny that echoes back through the silence of this vast cabin. And then everything's quiet.
I feel like Errol just through this has either been again horrified by the spider horse with the 18,000 backs and 400 necks and whatever else he comes with.
It's a normal horse that has a couple of extra legs, guys. He's not that weird.
He really freaks me out.
He's a...
Can you imagine eating a horse with that many legs? It'd be weird.
Of course, okay, it's weird, but it's not. You know, it's not a beholder. It's not a questing beast or or anything like that. He's just a little guy.
I'd rather be a questing beast.
And he's a good boy. He's an extra good boy.
He's an extra good. Well, he has to be an extra good boy with all those extra body parts that he's accumulated. Right, in my head, Errol either there's two things, and I suppose it depends on what happened after he pricked his hand on that Ica stuff gone.
I think at that moment, Siegfried just like slapping your hand away, just kind of essentially like whatever this little tiny black blob was that might have tried to infect you, he basically just smited it out of existence. He burned it off of you.
So I'm not infected with something weird then, or whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
Like him doing medicine checks was essentially him trying to purge this thing out of Zeb's system when it had already like lunged in and basically gotten into his bloodstream, as it were. He's trying to like suck something out of him that had already gotten in. This was something that was just literally just a prick on the tip of your finger, and he just was able to like bat it out of the way.
But
in that case, then I feel like through this process, he's just been leant up against that wall to the left of our map, watching this all happen while he sort of recovers and is realizing that he's not recovering as easily as he has from other things due to this exhaustion and the hallucinatory element. And once there's like that silence sort of descends of like, well, that didn't go according to plan. He again uses his gun to get himself up to his feet and marches over to that desk where I am presuming there is various occult and nasty books and stuff to see if he can get some information out of this encounter to find out if like, is this it? Have they dealt with the big bad and that's it? They've it's solved, or is this part of a greater scheme, or is there like like he's going into like sheriff mode. Like if this was a drug ring, say in his old town, it would be like, okay, are these the people that just have the drugs and they're just dealing it, or is there a guy that they buy from? Like, is there a bigger cult leader with an even greater chance of summoning something terrible? Like if he's just going to look up whatever he can find from the desk, but in a kind of like he's focusing so he doesn't have to deal with anything like how he feels. He's being a bloke about it.
Right. I'll say you're still under the effect of exhaustion, unless you like want to do something about a level of exhaustion. I believe.
I think I have to wait until a long rest anyway. So, yeah.
Would lesser restoration help in this situation? Because if you have that stopped and can burn the spell for it, that could negate the effect. It just depends on the rules as written.
You can.
You can do it with greater restoration, not with lesser. So you would need to burn another greater restoration, or you could just take the -1 for yeah.
I'm okay. If you do suggest it, he just waves his hand away, like it's just like I'll walk it off. He's being,
Okay.
Again, he needs to reclaim some like I'm in charge. I know what I'm doing. I'm fine. Everything's good. I'm a man. I can't deal with things.
I'll sleep good tonight. It's fine.
I think
sprinkling toxic masculinity as he deals with this problem.
make I will say make a deception check versus Siegfried's passive insight.
7 on the dice +6 for deception. And I'm proficient, so 7 + 6 + 3. Someone do some maths for me.
7 + 6
9 and
+
7,
3.
so 16. 16.
And so 15 because of the exhaustion?
16. Oh, yeah.
Siegfried just clocks that this is what you were doing and is going to come over and just sort of stand nearby and just sort of, without kind of intruding too much into your space, it's just going to, without like hover handing over you, it's just going to assist in whatever investigation or whatever history check you want to do in this scenario. So roll with advantage. It will still be a -1, but it will be with advantage.
9. Jesus, these dice do not like me today. 9 + 4. Oh, and I'm also proficient. I forgot to do the proficiency earlier. So 9 + 4 + 3. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. It'd be 15 again.
Okay. I will say on a 15, there's a lot of stuff here. A lot of it is ritual stuff. There's what languages can you read?
Ooh, that's a question. Common and Elvish.
So none of this is stuff you can read. Most of this is from what you get from Siegfried, just kind of casually looking over what you're doing. It's a lot of, it seems to be in what appears to be Weasel. He doesn't have comprehend languages as a spell, so he's not able to read himself. So that's your investigation. You can give me a flat history check because you were asking about what a cult might be doing here and what you would do. And if you want to use like your background feature as part of that.
14 + 1 - 1, back to 14 again. When you say my class feature, what do you?
I was under the impression I don't. Did we set one where you had Watcher's Eye or Criminal Contact?
Criminal Contact is what I've got.
Criminal Contact, yeah, Criminal Contact wouldn't.
And then you were going to say, like, depending on situation,
it might.
You'll tweak
Well,
it depending.
I would say, yeah, I'll say because the cult don't typically run in criminal circles. You only, I'll say on a was it 14 or 15?
14.
I'll say on a 14, you don't know a lot about the cult. They are sort of very much present in a lot of different parts of Exandria, but there's a lot of secrecy surrounding them, both in terms of their own practices, but also in terms of the various governments of the world not wanting to talk about them, because when you are a cult that worships a betrayer god, and particularly one that is prone to infecting people's minds and driving them insane, spreading the word about them tends to not be the best thing you can do. You are able to pick up, based on the fact that there is this connection to them being here in this place, and active in the area where Renard has supposedly recently been, you do get the impression, based on the stuff that's here, that isn't written in Abyssal specifically, that you don't get an idea of what the ritual itself was, but you do get the idea that they were here looking for a specific artifact. And some of the correspondence you see here, going back and forth, indicates that they have been here multiple times over the last few weeks and months looking for this item, and it has not been found. There is no indication of when it was here, but they are certain that it is not here now, and they suspect that it has been stolen by someone else and are in the process of trying to track it down. Specifically, they know that Reynard has revisited this location recently, and you get the impression, based on what you're reading, that they are trying to retrace his steps and trying to figure out where he's going next. There is a name you see referenced.
Okay.
I have to, which I will tell you in just a moment. When
Fair, sorry. I was like, did I just not get a good enough roll?
No, because
There's a name, but you can't read it because you're very silly.
no, it's literally, I had it up on my phone, and it was I had the conversation up and available to me, and it just fucking vanished off the thing. I've been consulting briefly with friend of the show, Casey.
I love Casey.
But this this particular item, this from a conversation that was being had back in September, which gives you some idea how long I've been trying to iron out the kinks in this thing.
So the specific item that they were looking for, you see the name Talisman of Ultimate Evil.
I wonder what that does.
Anyone who wants to try and figure out what it is can make an Arcana or Religion check.
I have a feeling Errol's just going to take the name at face value and just be like, it's evil and it's a talisman.
Flat 10.
I'm curious. Let's see what Siegfried would know about this. He's got good religion. And on a natural 20.
Hey!
On a natural 20, I'm going to give you the stat block for this item as it appears in roll 20. The Talisman of Ultimate Evil, wondrous item, legendary, requires attunement by a creature of evil alignment. This item symbolizes unrepentant evil. A creature that is neither good nor evil in alignment takes 6d6 necrotic damage upon touching the talisman. A good creature takes 8d6 of damage upon touching the talisman. Either sort of creature takes damage again each time it ends its turn holding or carrying the talisman. If you are an evil cleric or paladin, you can use the talisman as a holy symbol, and you gain +2 bonus to spell attack rolls while you wear or hold it. It has 6 charges. If you are wearing or holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 charge from the talisman and choose 1 creature you can see on the ground within 120 feet. If the target is a good alignment, a flaming fissure opens under it. The target must succeed on a DC 20 dexterity saving throw or fall into the fissure and be destroyed, leaving no remains. The fissure then closes, leaving no traces of its existence. When you expend the last charge, the talisman dissolves into foul-smelling slime and is destroyed. So it's a pretty gnarly magical artifact of fully... We're talking about evil and good in a very kind of linear, very kind of like one or the other sense here. This is an item that acts basically like a superconductor for evil-aligned magic. It is extremely dangerous in the hands of anyone with evil intentions, and even being in proximity to it as someone who is good or even neutrally aligned is bad news. And the idea that these people were trying to get hold of it and couldn't find it, and that it is out there in the world, potentially in the hands of Reynard, unsettles you.
Mm-hmm.
So it is with great anxiety that Siegfried turns to you and says, having explained in character what the significance of this item is, I am honor bound to ensure that this item does not fall into the wrong hands. I cannot touch it, but I must see that it is put somewhere far away from anyone who would use it. Anyone who desires such a thing. It was not meant for this world, and must be destroyed or sent away somewhere far away. So, if the cult of the Irons could not find it, and if this former friend of yours was able to claim it for himself, that is extremely dangerous for everyone in Amon. We must find him. We must figure out how to find him, where he is going, what he is planning. The best way to do that at this moment, I think, is to return to the city.
Yeah. In my head, if he and Errol's, I'm thinking out loud, so I'm not going to do it with the voice because I don't know what I'm actually going to say yet. But like in my head, I was asking this out loud as well. But like, if Reynard's already got this thing, then surely we would have seen the effects of it if he had already used it yet, and we haven't. So, is there something particular that someone evil would want to do with this? Like, is there a particular place that you take it? Like, I'm thinking Indiana Jones logic. Like, it's a lock to a room. Like, it's a, you know, it's a piece of the puzzle. Like, it's not, it doesn't feel like the talisman is the goal in and of itself. Like, you would get this thing to be able to do another thing. So, where would,
Make an insight check.
I'll be giving him the help action.
Yeah.
What does help action do again?
It gives you advantage. I mean, you can make separate ones, or you can make one to one of you can give the other advantage. It's up to you. I'll say we'll make the base DC for this a 15, and anything over a 20 gets you a little more.
I got 13.
I was gonna say, Brendan like to talk it over, I guess, and make her own.
Yeah. Feel free to make your own.
11. Never mind. I rolled a 2.
Can we help each other?
Statistically, I have a +9. It'll be cool. It'll be good. Never mind.
I'll say mechanically, because the three of you are like discussing this together. I'll roll for Siegfried as well, and actually, his passive insight is high enough that I think he's going to give you the benefit of the doubt here and allow you to. Did you roll with advantage, Nick? On that?
I did. I got a 7 and a 1. These dice do not like me. Like, I am getting these dice blessed after this game.
Yeah.
I'll say passive insight is a 19. Roll was an 11. So
I feel like you can't put the whole thing together in this moment, but there is something tickling the back of your mind. Reynard has been collecting.
This is he got the gauntlet of Firefinger discount. Then now we're going for this talisman, like. And Siegfried, you've talked like a man that knows a thing or two about these objects. Like, as you see, you're honor bound to look after them. Like, what would you collect next? Like, it's not going to just be 2 things. What's the third thing going to be?
I'll say, Brad, give me one more insight roll with advantage, because you were in the room where this happened.
Roll the insight? I'm sorry.
Yeah, insight one more time with or insight or history with advantage.
There we go. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 23.
So, Brenna, I'm glad you rolled better, Nathan, but this was specifically for Brenna, because, again, she was in the room. But that's okay. I'll say on that... It's
sorry,
okay. It's absolutely fine. 17,
I was eavesdropping.
17 gets you there.
And you go back to the conversation you are having with the Council of Teldori, there was something about a book. You remember this book? This book that Reynard went to great lengths to not give up, and that there was something about it that may have been significant, but what was it? And you feel like a book, a talisman, a gauntlet. These feel like components for a larger ritual, and you remember all the way back. And you know what? I'll bring it back to even further back. Errol, on that good insight, I will allow you this once. Just because you roll so well, and I want to honor that roll. You remember seeing the sort of the minor illusion of the 5 fingers of discount, and that there were runes and different elements of this glove that were clearly part of the enchantment of this item. But they were different pieces of arcane language sort of cobbled together to create a bigger effect. Like if you've ever seen part of a sentence in one language that would be completely different if something else was near it, perhaps. I think you get the sense in this situation that in the same way that the glove is different pieces of magical language kind of layered on top of each other to create a specific effect, like a spell with multiple components, that there is the possibility of these objects being combined in such a way as to create a larger, more specific effect that does something. You have an object that pulls certain types of material towards it. You have another that opens rifts between dimensions. And you have what could well be a very powerful spellbook.
This feels like someone wants to open the door to a room no one should go to. And then they're going to bring everything out of that room and have a goddamn play around with it.
Do you mean that metaphorically or physically? Like, yeah.
In my head, Errol just sort of stands there with a little glazed eyes at that, because in his head, he doesn't realise that he's saying a metaphor, because he's trying to describe other realms and realities, which is quite a new idea to him. So, in my head, he's like, yes, yeah, correct.
Did you have any perspective or anything you wanted to add to that, Brenna, based on what you managed to glean between the 3 of you?
Brenna's holding it close to the chest. She's leery on all of this, but she's not like wanting to commit to, oh no, it's evil, and well, I mean, it is evil. It's worse than it seems type. She's not catastrophizing it. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's bad, but she doesn't want to like put to words what she thinks it is, in that he's attempting to reassemble the Hoard, and she doesn't know from there.
Okay. I think also, like, on that insight and piecing together that these are elements of a larger scheme, Errol, you, well, to quote, not friend of the podcast, but someone to whom we all aspire, Mr. Brennelly Mulligan, every moment the world is not already blowing up, it clearly means that the person doing what they're doing needs something else, or else the world would already be blown up. So there are other steps to this process. What they are, you do not yet know, but you get the impression that this is item X on a list that could be very long or very short, and it all depends on what Reynard's intention is in this moment.
Well, if we know that there's a book on this list, it doesn't matter whether that's the 3rd thing on the list or the 10th. He's going to need all the things on his list. So if we get to the book first, then we have a bargaining chip with this guy, whatever he's going off to hunt. So I think we go off and get this book.
He already has the book.
Well, then I take all that back and I walk into a wall. Is that any
What-
indication of what else might be on the list?
Yeah. That's
I will.
Yeah, we don't know where he's going to be going with it, but we do know that there's the thing that we can get before he gets it. So we should do that.
You don't know what he's after, and you don't know how many things after this. That you're ahead of the conversation. You know he's been at this place and has been slowly but surely at this for a while. He's been playing a long game with this, and these are high-level items, so there has clearly been a process of trying to track them down, the easiest things to get first, in order to make getting the bigger stuff easier.
Yeah, this Reynard fella's not great, is he? It's not a good chap.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it?
It's almost like he's the villain of this story.
A villain. Maybe the primary villain. We'll see.
But Brenna, you remember talking about that book and the items that he took, and you snap back to the item that he did pass on to you that is still, I believe, in your pocket, and it is the scrying eye. You could use it to find out where he is now and where he's trying to go to and catch up with him directly. It would depend on whether you successfully cast a spell to scry on him. There are a number of charges to this device per day, so you could attempt to find out where he is right now based on what you basically in terms of the stuff that you recognize as being significant in the space. You've picked clean anything that would be of immediate use, even the stuff you don't necessarily understand for the moment in terms of its purpose. You clear as much of it out as you can, you stick it in a satchel or something, and I think you have the options here of, do you continue to try and chase down Reynard, not necessarily knowing what his plan is, or do you regroup back in Amon and try and consult with council, maybe try and get some more equipment on the go, maybe find some more allies who are willing to help, pursue Reynard down. So you have options here. And there is no exact clear timeline, but you get the impression that whatever is going to happen hasn't happened yet.
I think I'll look at Earl and be like, should we scry him here? I mean, if he tries to scry us back, all he's going to do is see this place, as opposed to, safety in the mine.
Okay. I'm just looking up the... So you're going to attempt to scry on Reynard?
Yeah. I'm going to pull out the scrying eye and attempt to.
Let's see here. Yeah. Spell save 15, duration 10 minutes. Normal rules apply. Target takes a bonus if the caster moves it. So, yeah, the base DC for this is 50. I'm just looking at the rules for scrying. So you have met the target, so that's basically neutral. Lightness of picture. Yeah, so you don't have any additional. You don't have his likeness or picture. You don't have.
Yeah.
I guess actually you do. This is something that it was in his possession for a few seconds. So I'm gonna say that technically doesn't count. You have been around him long enough for this to just be I wouldn't say you know the target well. We'll call this.
I'd say it a flat DC 15.
Yeah, a flat DC.
Yeah, I don't. I don't meet any of the other special requirements.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna roll this. We don't need Drago's stat block anymore, so let's dig out Renard again. Because he has been busy in the interim. Wisdom saving throw. That's an 18 on the die. For 23.
You attempt to reach out, and the sort of arcane energy surrounding his mind just bats you away. Like, you see the ball starts to swirl and tries to focus in on him, and there is a little jolt as the scrying eye reacts to him making the save, and you just, in the back of your mind, you hear a little bit of a chuckle.
Damn.
Do we hear that as well? Like, does it come out of it, or is that just something Brenna experiences?
Brenna is hearing this in her mind because Brenna is of a particular type of halfling that has certain latent psychic abilities. So this is essentially him making the save and putting a little bit of stank on it, a little bit of feedback on it, just to kind of like
Rubber nosing it.
To let her know that he knows.
Mm-hmm.
No, pretty much it's you see, I take out what would probably be like a palm-sized ball cube. For me, it's 2 hands, and giant cat's eye. She's like, maybe, like a big old $8 note. Maybe I can. Damn it. And she kind of like covers it back up with the fabric and puts it back in her bag and just kind of like pouts a little bit. And never mind.
Siegfried puts a massive, compared to you, hand on your shoulder, and just gives you the gentlest little squeeze with this big maul of a hand, and just says, "It's okay, you tried." And so basically you will now have to wait another 24 hours before you can attempt to scry on Reynard again.
So, not knowing where he currently is or how you would get there, you could attempt to teleport to him, but not knowing where he is, that would create a significant amount of danger in attempting to transport. So with that in mind, Siegfried turns to you and says, "I understand that the desire to pursue is strong in this moment. Unfortunately, I will have to go and retrieve Shatnir and ensure that Zebediah is being taken care of. And not knowing what the purpose of these artifacts are being used for, it might behoove us to enter our next encounter with more preparation and more allies at our disposal. Is there any business you guys want to do in this temple before you depart?"
I think Errol's just going to sort of agree with Sigmund and say, like, yeah, if we're not going to get any answers here, we might as well head back and see if we can get any at home. But there's like a sense in him of like, he's fed up. Not fed up, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he's
Frustrated.
Yeah, he's frustrated. He's like, he doesn't really have a lot of faith in the people around him. This is the second guy that's, in his mind, nearly died. Like, he feels a little bit like, well, you guys aren't really giving us any answers. I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, don't really know how I've got into this mess. And he just he gets as many of the books and papers and things from the desk as he can to put it in his in a satchel just to take back with him. But he doesn't really know what. He's just taking stuff at random and then just sort of trudges back towards the door to head back home.
Ronald, take what she can off the bodies. Effectively loot the bodies.
Okay.
This operation doesn't pay for itself, damn it.
I think
That's
Errol's just gonna kick one of the bodies and then just walk past it. I think he's fully he is checked out emotionally and mentally. He's like, you want to do that? Go nuts. But he is just walking to get some sunlight, and he is done with this.
I'll say on the bodies of the cultists, you don't find a lot on them. You find a water pitcher, a single metal coin of, I want to say, this would be an electrum piece. You find a single electrum piece. One of them has like a small pile of coal. There's some broken pieces of mirror. One has some rotten twigs. But you find on the body of Dragor, because his actual body, his corpus is still present. He's not decomposing per se, but it feels like it has shriveled and shrunk somewhat from whatever was in him and sustaining him, leaving his body. You find a bunch of loot on him. You find a ring of spell turning. He has several swords on his person, but the ones you find that are most significant are there is an Acheron bladed short sword, a long sword of wounding. He's wearing gloves of missile snaring and a necklace of adaptation, and there are various other bits and pieces on him. He's wearing spiked armor, which this guy is taller than a regular human, so none of this stuff would necessarily fit any of you, but it is there, and you can attempt to do with it as you please. There's also a day's worth of rations, 50 feet worth of rope, a tinderbox, a torch, and a full water skin, and you may take of those as you wish.
We'll take it all.
Okay.
Anything it's self fodder. Yeah, we'll sort it out and everything when we get.
And if we want to do a shopping episode or trading of items, you have access to Gilmore, so you'll be able to do shopping back in Amon if you so wish. So you pick the items clean, you shove it all in the bag of holding, you all gather around Siegfried and hold hands as he pulls on his helm of teleportation and uses one of the charges in it to transport you out of this bleak and desolate, long-forgotten temple below the shadowy peak of Gatshadow. And as you are extruded through the weave and fabric of this plane of existence and reality, that is where we will conclude today's session.
Well,
that was Hoard of the Cinder King, a Tales from the Arclight program, written, directed, and produced by Adam X.Smith, executive produced by Adam X.Smith and Nathan T. Dean, game design by Adam X.Smith and Rebecca Reeg, original character designs by Jojo Smith and Mado Chadebec, additional editing, sound design, and original title music composed by Myles Curwen, additional sound engineering by Gunner, additional music provided by Incompetech and composed by Kevin MacLeod, sound effects sourced from freesounds.org and beats by talent on YouTube. Tales from the Arclight is made possible through Spotify for Creators, formerly Anchor.fm. Engage with us on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky at the links in the description.